So I wanted to talk a little bit about diabetic foods, the type of diet you would want to maintain as a diabetic, and the type of herbs you would want to use. There are a couple different things that you can use. There's something, depending on how much insulin you're on or what type of deal you have going on. First, I'll talk about a little bit of the mechanics of how you become a diabetic and why this happens, and the differences in diabetic type 1 and type 2. The way that it happens is if you have been intaking too many sugars for too long, what happens, and it's okay because you were never told what you were supposed to do. Nobody ever let you know that you shouldn't stop, that you should stop intaking so many sugars and so many things like this. So it's okay, you know, we're all on the same path. We're all trying to do our best, and if we weren't told something, it's not our fault. But here's the problem: we intake too many highly processed sugars, so refined sugars, and just too much sugar ends up producing more insulin. So here's how it works. Your body breaks everything down into glucose, or breaks the sugar down into glucose very quickly. Refined sugars, it breaks down very quickly into sugar or glucose, and you need glucose to convert into ATP, and ATP is basically what makes you move. It's energy. So ATP, every time you move something, it's little pops of ATP going off, which is allowing you to move, and that's manufactured in the mitochondria of your cell. So what happens is, in order for the glucose to get into your cell, it needs insulin. Insulin's basically like a little key that opens the door for glucose to go into your cell. Now the pancreas produces insulin. So whatever your blood levels are, your brain tells I believe it's your hypothalamus, tells your pancreas to produce how much insulin based on how much glucose is inside your bloodstream. So if you have a ton of glucose that just suddenly shows up into your bloodstream, refined sugars, white refined carbohydrates, so like pizza, the refined carbohydrates used to make the dough or the bread, things like that, you're going to have problems because you're going to have to produce so much insulin to open up as keys to open up the doorway so that the glucose can get inside the cell. So once you do that over time, and you do it so much, your pancreas starts to wear down and you can't produce as much. And then eventually it basically shuts off because you used your bank of insulin. Now you can rebuild this. You can get your pancreas working again. You can regenerate your pancreas. You can do this. It can lead to type 2 diabetes where your pancreas completely shuts off. And that can be due to viral infections because your immune system's so low because you've been eating so much sugar that it has totally lowered your immune system. So viral infections can happen in your pancreas, and that can totally kill off your pancreas. But you can regenerate it. There's a place called the Tree of Life, and I believe it's somewhere in Arizona. They have a 65% success rate with type 2 diabetes, not just type 1, but type 2. Type 1, they have a 95% success rate with diabetes. So now that you know a little bit about how diabetes works, or how the insulin production works and stuff like that, let me give you some things to basically be able to do to help you regain your health, regenerate your pancreas, regenerate your insulin levels, and get back to a state of health where you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. It's not even a problem anymore. Okay? That's what we want to do. We want to help you so that you can get back to a state of health, of vitality in your life, so that you can do the things that you love to do in your life. And this is where we all want to be. Now, okay, one thing I want to make very specific for diabetics: if you're taking insulin, if you're taking any type of insulin, however many units you're taking, 1 cup of string bean skin tea, the skin of the string bean, 1 cup of that tea is equal to 1 unit of insulin. Okay? So if you drink that throughout the day, however many cups you drink is equal to 1 unit of insulin. So however much insulin you're taking, you can reduce that and you can start drinking string bean tea because it has something that also acts as insulin, and it opens up the cells so that you can have glucose get into your cells, so you don't need to produce as much insulin. And so your body reacts to that and says, okay, well, that's awesome. So it gets a break. Your pancreas gets a break so that your immune system can work on it and it can regenerate itself. Now, you want to get regenerative factors in there. Okay, regenerative factors. I'm talking things like human growth hormone. So something like deer antler. Deer antler has so many growth factors in it, it's ridiculous. Let me tell you a little bit about deer antler. Deer antler, they take the extract from the very tip of the deer antler, and that is the part that regenerates, okay? That is the part that grows extremely fast and very quickly. The deer antler is the only mammalian organ that regenerates, okay? So you want this regenerative properties in your system so that you can regenerate whatever is going on in your body. If you have scar tissue, if you have tissues that need healing. I've had a superior lateral tear that extended into my bicep. I healed that because I've been taking these substances. And this was something that doctors said that could not be healed unless I did surgery, and they had to do some attachments and things in there. Well, that's not true. I don't listen to that stuff because I know the truth about health and what you can possibly do. So now I can do whatever I want with my shoulder because I know the truth and I've experienced it. Now,